A few days ago, I sat right here and made a promise. I said, for the next 30 videos, I'm showing up, even when I was tired, even when a video flopped, even when I didn't feel like it. I genuinely believe that if I could force myself to be consistent for 30 days, something would change. Maybe my channel would grow. Maybe I would become more disciplined. Maybe I would finally prove to myself that I could finish what I started. Well, I'm not finishing the challenge. And strangely, I think quitting it has taught me something more important than completing it ever could. Because somewhere between trying to grow a YouTube channel, being a mom, working, running a home, and simply trying to live my actual life, I realized I had turned something I loved into something I was beginning to dread. And that's when I knew I needed to stop. When I announced this challenge, I meant every word. I wasn't pretending. I wasn't creating some dramatic YouTube experiment that I already knew I wouldn't finish. I genuinely thought 30 videos. I can do this. People do 30-day fitness challenges. People post every day for a year. I've seen people do it. Surely I can make 30 videos. And initially there was something exciting about it. I had a goal. I had momentum. I was thinking about titles. I was thinking about thumbnails, scripts, ideas. What should I film tomorrow? What should I post next? And then something changed. I wasn't just thinking about YouTube when I was creating. I was thinking about YouTube all the time. My brain just wouldn't switch off. I would finish one video and instead of feeling accomplished, my brain would immediately say, okay, what's tomorrow's video? I would upload something, then think about the thumbnail, then the views, then think about whether people were clicking, then think about tomorrow's scripts, then editing, then another idea, then I'll think about whether I was falling behind. There was always another video waiting for me. And suddenly this little challenge that was supposed to teach me discipline was occupying an enormous amount of space in my head. Even when I wasn't working, I didn't feel like I had stopped working. That's probably the part I underestimated most. Creating a video takes time, but constantly thinking about creating takes something else. It takes mental space, and mine was disappearing. Because here is the part that doesn't disappear because you have decided to become consistent on YouTube. I'm still a mom. My children don't look at my content calendar and say, Mommy has to upload today. Let's behave ourselves. No, unfortunately. Somebody still needs something. Someone is hungry. Someone can't find something that is directly in front of them. Something needs cleaning. Something needs organizing. Then there is work, marriage, family, life. And somewhere amongst all of that, I'm also supposed to be a human being who occasionally sits down without turning the experience into content. I started noticing that even when I was with my family, part of my brain was somewhere else, thinking about the next upload. And I didn't like that at all for me. I did not like it one bit. When I realized this wasn't working, there wasn't something huge that happened. It was actually quieter than that. I just started noticing how I felt. I wasn't excited. I wasn't peaceful. My mind felt noisy. I felt constantly under pressure. And I started feeling genuinely unhappy about something I had chosen voluntarily. That's when I had this slightly ridiculous realization. Nelo, nobody is forcing you to do this. There isn't a YouTube police officer outside my house saying, hey, excuse me, madam, where is day 14? No, I created the challenge myself. I created the deadline. Somehow, I had also convinced myself that breaking my own arbitrary rule meant I had failed. Then I asked myself, failed at what exactly? And this is where I realized this video isn't actually about YouTube, because I think a lot of women do this. We decide what the good version of ourselves look like. A good mom does this, a good mom does that, a successful woman does this, a disciplined person wakes up at this time, a good wife should manage this, a serious content creator posts this often, a productive person finishes everything she starts. And once we've created that standard, we can become absolutely exhausted trying to prove that we are that woman, even when the thing we are doing isn't working anymore. Sometimes we continue simply because quitting would make us feel like we have failed. But I'm starting to question that. And here is the funny part. In the video where I announced this challenge, I said it's about becoming the kind of person who finishes what she starts. Yes, at the time, I thought that sounded powerful. Now, I think I was wrong. I don't want to become someone who finishes absolutely everything she starts. Some things deserve to be finished. Some things deserve persistence. But some things need to be changed. And some things need to be stopped. I want to become someone who knows the difference. Because continuing something purely because you announced it publicly isn't discipline. Sometimes it's just pride. So, am I quitting YouTube? No. And that's the important part. I'm quitting the 30 days challenge that I put on myself. I'm not quitting the goal. I still want to build this channel. I still want Nelo Talks to grow. I still want to have conversations about motherhood, marriage, career, identity, starting over, and everything women are quietly trying to figure out while getting on with life. I still want thousands of you here. Eventually, hopefully, much more than thousands. I'm ambitious like that. I'm just no longer willing to build it in a way that makes me miserable. Because what would be the point of building something successful if I hate my life while building it? So, what am I doing instead? I'm replacing my 30-day challenge with something much less exciting, but probably much more sustainable. I'm going to create videos that actually have something to say in. I'm going to give myself enough time to make them properly. I'm going to stop treating every day I don't upload as a day I have failed. I'm going to build this channel around my life rather than trying to build my entire life around this channel. Maybe that means growth takes longer. I'm okay with that, because I would rather still be creating a year from now than post 30 videos quickly and be so exhausted that I don't want to make number 31. So technically, yes, I failed my 30-day challenge, but I don't actually think the experiment failed, because it answered a question. I wanted to know what would happen if I forced myself to show up every day. Well, now I know. That version of consistency doesn't work for me. And knowing what doesn't fit your life can just be as useful as discovering what does. Maybe you've had to learn that too. Maybe it was a career you worked incredibly hard for. A business, a fitness goal, a relationship, a routine, a version of motherhood, or simply a plan you were determined to make work. Sometimes the brave decision isn't "I will keep going no matter what." Sometimes the brave decision is "this isn't working anymore. I'm allowed to change the plan." So no, there won't be a day 30. And I'm surprisingly okay saying that. What there will be is more Nelo Talks, just without me frantically trying to manufacture another upload because a calendar told me I had to. If you're a woman trying to build a life, raise a family, pursue your ambitions, and somehow remain yourself in the middle of it all, I think you're going to understand a lot of the conversations we're going to have here. So please subscribe, not because I'm promising you a video every single day. I'm definitely not making that promise again. No, 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 never again. I've learned my lesson. Subscribe because I'm promising to keep showing up honestly. And I would actually love to know something. What's something you once thought quitting would make you a failure, but walking away turned out to be the right decision? Tell me in the comments. I'm Nelo, and apparently my first lesson in consistency was learning when not to be consistent. I'll see you in the next one.